Everybody vibes with the all-new Camry. A standard 225-horsepower engine and an available sport-tuned suspension provide the power and agility to take you anywhere, and to do it in style. With available features like the two-tone midnight black metallic roof, color-matched sport grille, panoramic glass roof, and cockpit red leather trimmed interior, the Camry has never looked better. And because every all-new Camry is a hybrid, it delivers up to an EPA-estimated 51 miles per gallon combined. Whatever your vibe, it's a Camry vibe. Learn more at toyota.com/Camry. Hello, from Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month, we're talking about adversaries, women who fought for their place in history, whether they fought to get to the top of their sport, against how society perceived them, or fought with each other to be champions. We're talking about women who broke barriers and sometimes did seemingly impossible or unspeakable things to carve out their place in history. This episode of Womanica is brought to you by the all-new Toyota Camry. In 1887, in Popular Science Monthly, psychologist George J. Romanes wrote, "Seeing that the average brain weight of women is about 5 ounces less than that of men, on merely anatomical ground, we should be prepared to expect a marked inferiority of intellectual power in the former." This wasn't a niche opinion. During the late 19th century, it was widely believed that women were biologically inferior to men. The prevailing theory was that the size and shape of a person's head indicated their intelligence. Today we're talking about the statistician who made it her mission to debunk this theory. Please meet Alice Lee. Alice was born on June 28, 1858 in Dedham, a village in Essex in England. In her late teens, she began studying at Bedford College in London. It was the first college for women established in the United Kingdom, and Alice was the first person at the school to earn a bachelor's degree in science in 1884. The next year, she got another degree, this time a bachelor's in art. After completing her undergraduate education, Alice taught math and physics at Bedford College. She also tutored students in Greek and Latin. It was around this time that she read a rather scathing newspaper op-ed written by respected biostatistician and eugenicist Carl Pearson. He wrote, "Ladies' colleges are doing no doubt good work, but the work is not academic." He went on to cast aspersions against one female teacher, almost surely Alice, who lectured across multiple disciplines at the school. Alice wrote Pearson a letter defending her intellect and the credibility of the college. Surprisingly, Pearson was impressed by her response. Not long after, he invited Alice to join his research team at the University College London and to assist with calculations. The work related to the field of craniometry, which dealt with measuring the size and capacity of skulls. At the time, many scientists had the flawed belief that analyzing the size and shape of someone's brain would explain certain variations among humans, like race, sex, and class. Today we consider this, known as phrenology, a pseudoscience. Craniometry helped spawn the belief that smaller skulls indicated lower intelligence, and people used that theory to justify the fact that women were treated as inferior and largely shut out of higher education. Alice wasn't convinced. With Pearson's support, she embarked on a doctoral dissertation to prove everyone wrong. It was a complicated endeavor. Back then, skull capacity was determined through measuring the skeletons of dead people. But Alice devised a new method for accurately calculating the volume of a living person's skull. She boldly decided to measure the heads of men from the Anatomical Society, which was one of the groups supporting the theory that women were biologically less intelligent than men. She also measured the heads of women from Bedford College. Alice found that skull sizes actually varied a lot among both men and women. In fact, some of the men's skulls she measured were smaller than some of the women's. And these were scientists and academics recognized for their intelligence. Alice wrote, "The correlation, if it exists, can hardly be large, and the true source of intellectual ability will, we are convinced, have to be sought elsewhere." When Alice presented her thesis for defense, some of her male examiners fiercely attacked her work. They falsely claimed that Alice hadn't produced any new work, She had just built on Pearson's previous research. They even called in a famous geneticist, Francis Galton, to look over Alice's paper. He was not happy to see that her work directly contradicted his own views on male and female intelligence. Pearson had to step in and vouch for Alice's credibility. Despite all of the criticism she faced, her dissertation was published in 1900. Alice became one of the first women to become a Doctor of Science at University College London, and she'd helped disprove the theory that intelligence was directly related to skull capacity. But Alice stopped short of considering the racial implications. She believed, like many intellectuals of the era, that physiological differences made some races superior to others. That argument was used to justify colonization. The field of phrenology would be discredited only a decade or so later. Alice was not among those who helped disprove the racist and false belief. Alice continued to work in Pearson's lab for several more years before resigning due to poor health. During World War I, she studied bullet trajectories for the Munitions Inventions Department and made calculations for the Admiralty. She retired in the village of Rustington, where she passed away on October 5, 1939. She was 81 years old. All month, we're talking about Adversaries. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Talk to you tomorrow. Everybody vibes with the all-new Camry. A standard 225-horsepower engine and an available sport-tuned suspension provide the power and agility to take you anywhere, and to do it in style. With available features like the two-tone midnight black metallic roof, color-matched sport grille, panoramic glass roof, and cockpit red leather-trimmed interior, the Camry has never looked better. And because every all-new Camry is a hybrid, it delivers up to an EPA-estimated 51 miles per gallon combined. Whatever your vibe, it's a Camry vibe. Learn more at toyota.com/Camry.